afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for February 1st, 2022. Welcome in February, out with January, in with February. 11 full months left in this year of 2022. Would like to first apologies for everyone that was anxiously awaiting, especially myself, for the midday market report. We have Sean King scheduled to come in, former QB at Tulane, Bucks QB for 4 years, now with VSiN, and we were going to talk some shop and some football and all that good stuff. And Sean was at the East-West Shrine practices. It got a little too loud for him to go remote, so we will promptly have him rescheduled there. So again, apologies there. But we're here tonight to hopefully get you a little closer to the window. Yesterday, if you followed us on the closing bell, I talked about some basketball games, and NC Wilmington did it again to us. Drexel big lead into half. Led most of the second half and didn't close. That's been our nightmare for some time now. The classic was Colorado State yesterday at Wyoming, probably one of the better games on the board. At the line with 1.7 seconds left, or 1.3 seconds left. Free throw and win, and he clanks it, and they go to overtime and tied with 40 seconds to go, and they get outscored 6-7-0 to end that game with a loss there. In the pucks, the Red Wings win in overtime. The Canucks win also, so a couple small dogs there. We had some leans in college hoop. TCU beats out Oklahoma outright. But that's what we're here for. We're here to get you educated, get you closer to that window. There's a handful of stench games tonight. I mean, eye-openers. You got a Providence team that's just rolling in the Big East, and they're 3.5-point underdogs at St. John's. I jokingly said to Tim Murray at VSiN, is Chris Mullen playing tonight? Is Louis Carnesecca coaching? Is there something that I'm missing? Another great game is the Bonnies hosting Davidson. No one's hotter than Davidson, but the Bonnies are favored by 3.5. But those are the Jedi mind games that these guys like to play. As we get closer to the Super Bowl as well, I'm hearing some numbers of 5. Yes, 5. And I'm hearing people say this is the easiest Super Bowl ever. I'm hearing people talk about 2001. The Rams came in, the best show on turf, 14-point favorites against the Patriots. And we know what happens there. And yes, the GOAT himself has finally retired. But without further ado, let's bring in the man from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Actually, good afternoon, Scotty.
Good afternoon, sir. I didn't turn my lights on. How was your dentist today? Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. That was kind of a comical story at best. I think I had told you off air. We had gone there 6 weeks, 8 weeks prior. They did all that kind of work to get you all lathered up, and they said, yeah, we can take care of, we'll start with the bottoms and we'll get you all prettied up for a cool $44,000, and then we'll do your tops afterward. And I was like, okay, do you want me to write you a check now or later? And haven't seen him since till today.
Yeah, I have issues with my teeth, and I have issues with the dentist, and it's just so hard these days to get all that stuff straightened out, because it's like buying a car, and I just want to fix my teeth. I don't want to buy a car. So it's I'm in the same spot. I haven't fixed my teeth, and I got some that fell out. So it is what it is. So anyway, I haven't been doing that well in the NBA. I don't think I've won a game now for I don't know how long. I skipped those couple of days, come back yesterday and got blasted. I made a little changes. So see how that goes to the numbers in terms of the weighting on certain things. So I think that'll help. And then the games I wanted to play, I can't play now. So it is what it is, man.
Well, it's funny. You know what I noticed last night with the NBA is all the guys that were scratched, the Embiid. I said on the show, the only side you could play if you were going to play that game was Philly. I don't care if Embiid was out. They went from -3.5 to +3.5, and they get a walk off there for the win there. The Atlanta game with the questionable, was Trey playing or not? All these injuries, all these big line moves. The one game that the line didn't move was we talked about Sabonis. You talked about the other center being out. That line stayed at 2. And I was off the air, and our buddy Billy Hewlin reached out to me, and he goes, Jeff, that one smells to high heaven. I was like, yeah, that line hasn't moved yet. Sabonis is out, and we got a couple other guys out there. They're actually going to grab a few people from the crowd to suit up just in case. And it's the NBA. And the NBA is the only sport that you can be down 20 at half
and still
and
win
win by 20.
Yeah, there's no question. There's some stuff I didn't pull the trigger on this morning that I wish I did, and now that I didn't, I can't play. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, you know what? Maybe what we can do for everyone here is we can bring up the board. I'm going to go to Don Best. It'll be a little harder to read today, but I'm going to double screen on my right side so I can help out a little better today. Talk about the morning thoughts and to where the actual numbers are, and so people at least can understand where maybe they can start looking or talking and jump on these in the morning before they pounce.
Well, the first game that caught my attention was San Antonio was plus 2.5 at home against Golden State. And I flagged that game as a game that I wanted to look at in the afternoon on what's going on with San Antonio. And then I get up and start looking at the San Antonio number, and they're now -5. They're not plus 2.5 anymore. They're -5. Seth Curry is not playing, Stephen Curry. So that changes the whole mindset there. I mean, I can't take them at -5. I wanted them at -2.5, and now you're going to play them at -5. I don't think that's the right way to go with that. I get the idea that the San Antonio Spurs, I've got a different website up here today. Well, maybe I don't, but I'll get it up here. The San Antonio Spurs, what's interesting about that team is that they are that's not the right one. They are the number 1 team in the league against the spread over the last 2 weeks in terms of spread variance. And that was important. So I like the idea that particular team is being undervalued. And against Golden State, who just is on a little bit of a roll here, starting to win some games. I don't think San Antonio was getting the right respect here. So then all of a sudden, Steph Curry's not going to play, and then now they're -5. So I can't pull the trigger on that game in any way, shape, or form. And the numbers that I'm showing on that game now look like where'd they go? There they are. It's all the money's coming in on San Antonio now. It's like all over the place with that one. And then the other game that I wanted to take was, Chicago's been playing pretty well. They won 3 of their last 4, and of course the one that I'm on them is the one they lose. But they've won 3 of their last 4, and they're playing Orlando, who's been playing pretty well. But Orlando's playing all these home games. They played 5 straight home games, and this is their first one on the road. And the number was 10.5. And I think the number might even be 8.5 now. And I wanted to play Orlando at 10.5. I don't want to play them at 8.5. If I wanted to play them at 10.5, I would have played. I thought maybe they might go up to 11. So now they're at 8.5. So that takes the value out of that game. My numbers come out to where it's at 8. So if the number is at 8, I don't really want to go and say, hey, that's pretty close to the line. The value in that play, I think, is gone. So that one is one that sort of went to the wayside. The only one that's kind of holding up that may get there is Brooklyn tonight. Brooklyn plays Phoenix. Brooklyn is a much better away team than they are home team, and that's because that's when Kyrie Irving plays. He will be playing tonight with Harden. Harden's going to play. That was the one concern that I had, and he is going to play. But I think that one was +7 for them, and now it's +6, which means I'm still kind of watching to see where that number ends up. But that's a lean for right now is Brooklyn plus the 6.
The college hoop scene tonight is long, and there's a lot of landmines. And what I am going to do today is my best, at least to tell you what my eyes are seeing. I am going to tell you some potential leans. I'm going to give you the 2 stench plays of the day. They make 0 sense. And I'll tell you what, in the last month especially, the stench plays haven't been coming in. It's almost like they're playing Jedi mind tricks where you're scratching your head. They're like, Vegas knows something. Therefore, I'm taking the stench, and the stench hasn't been coming in. And so there's a couple of those tonight that I'm going to bring up right now. And actually, at this point, let me do this. It's easier on the eyes for everyone. 1 second here, Scott.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to pull that one.
There it is.
All right, I'm going to go to Wager Talk. If you head over to Game Center, I had both Game Center and Wager Talk up, but I'm going to do it this way. There's just too many games. All right. So first, the top game, and again, I'm not telling anyone to run to the window, but I'm just telling you what my eyes are seeing, and Scotty can be yay or nay if we got conflicting information or not. 6 o'clock tip-off, rotation number 601, 602. BC travels to Virginia. Both teams awful. This is not the same Virginia team that we're accustomed to.
Hey, Colton, how are you? Colton's saying hello there.
Good afternoon, Colton. Keep hitting them. Colton's crushing them right now, and I look forward to him coming on the Midday Market Report on Thursday. As he is the mid-major king. If you're not following him, If you're not following him, go follow him. Jesus, go over to Twitter at Talking the Line. Follow Colton and Riley. They're 2 great guys, and they're people that need to be reckoned with in these lanes. Rotation number 601, 602. BC at Virginia. Virginia opened up at 8.5, and it stayed at 8.5 across the Vegas Strip. It has gone to 9 at South Point and Caesars now. I'm showing 56% of the money, 74%. 56% of the tickets, 74% of the money on Virginia. Is that close?
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's about the same. 68% of the money and 70% of the tickets.
It is an under-over, which is a Virginia number. It opened at 119.5, and it is at 118. I'm just going to throw out here, it is a line freeze on the BC Eagles. So the only play I would have if I did play there is BC, but I am not recommending them. I'm just telling you what my eyes see. Creighton at UConn at the XL Center tonight. I gave my tickets away. I will not be heading up to Hartford. 66% of the bets, 83% of the money coming in on Creighton. Yet the line opened at 9.5 and is now 10.5 on UConn.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'm what I see is this is one of the heavier bet games. It's not the most heavy bet game, but there's $79,000 bet on this game. 57% of the cash is on UConn. 63% of the tickets is on Creighton.
Okay, so more tickets, less. I'm sorry. I can say it this way: less tickets, more money on UConn. So sharper, heavier money coming in on UConn. Also want to keep everyone aware that they travel to Villanova on Saturday. Not that they'll be peeking ahead at anything, but I think UConn wins. I think the number's a little high. Creighton hasn't done great on the road. I would stay away, but a 134, 135 number tells me, UConn's been putting up 80 and change, so they're expecting a lot slower pace there. We'll see. I lean UConn to win, but I wouldn't touch the 10.5. I'm just going to go to the stench, one of the stenches of the night here, Scotty. Davidson, rotation number 811. I'm sorry, 611, 612, 7 o'clock tip off. Opened at 3.5, now 3 at the Bonnies. 80% of the bets, 89% of the money on Davidson. The line's gone from 3.5 to 3.
Yeah, I'm showing 73% of the money, 87% of the tickets on Davidson.
All right, so the line's moving in the right direction. Davidson, one of the hottest teams in the country. I talked yesterday about NC Wilmington, and they kept on winning. This, again, the Bonnies are not last year's Bonnies. I'm not saying they can't win the game. I am just surprised at this number here. Buyer beware. That's all I will say there. Rutgers at Northwestern, rotation number 613, 614. Rutgers opened up plus 5.5, now 5, receiving 70% of the bets and 70% of the money.
Pretty close to the same here. 63% of the cash, 70% of the tickets.
A Rutgers team that doesn't play well on the road, a Northwestern team that hasn't been getting the respect, but in the same token, tough to back a Northwestern team favored by 5, if you want my honest 2 cents there. Stench number 2. Rotation number 615, 616. Michigan State travels to Maryland. Michigan State opened up 4.5, now 3.5. 75% of the bets, 57% of the money, all on Michigan State.
Yeah, this is showing 76% of the money, 81% of the tickets on Michigan State.
All right, everyone that is a fan favorite here of ECSI, our loyal followers, knows what the twerps do to us. If we take the twerps, they lose by 20. If we go against them, they win by 20. Strong reverse line movement on Maryland here. So from my eyes, Maryland is the play here. Plus the 3.5, a little plus 125, 130, 35 on the money line. Home dog, reverse line movement, you name it, they're getting it. So Maryland would be a lean today. This next game is based all upon an injury. Kansas opened up 3.5, now 1.5 or 2, some 2.5s at Iowa State. 59% of the bets, 57% of the money, all on Iowa State. It's a team. Iowa State started the year 11 or 12-0, has regressed. Kansas is being Kansas. They're not Danny Manning, Kansas, but they're a good team this year. Yet their line has dropped significantly because one of their best players is out.
Yeah, it's 54% of the money, 53% of the tickets, all on Iowa State.
I tell you what, if that line goes and stays at 1.5, and you can get a minus 118, 120 on Kansas, I think even with one of their better players out, I think Kansas would be a lean there as well. The public's diving in on Iowa State. I think you got a great price and great value on Kansas tonight. Another kryptonite team here. Tennessee opened up 11.5 point favorites, now 11 against A&M. Rotation number 623, 624. Listen, 94% of the bets, 96% of the money on A&M. Is that correct?
I got 83% and 82%.
And I'm just telling you this, guys. Tennessee has been that lightning rod all year. They've been so high-priced favorites, especially at home, and they're not paying the bills. They're not getting there. But Vegas has stuck to their guns here. They opened up a number that's all they're going to do is attract A&M money, and that's what they're doing. If I was to play this game, I'd go back to the well. I'd take Tennessee minus 11 here. I think the number is just begging for A&M and Aggie money. I'm not trying to say I'm betting on the come here, but that number makes 0 sense to us. Rotation number 631, 632, 8 p.m. tip-off, North Carolina at Louisville. The Tar Heels opened up at 3.5. It stayed at 3.5, receiving 71% of the bets and 73% of the money, Scott.
Yeah, I got 75% of the money, 84% of the tickets, North Carolina.
Second game without Chris Mack at coach. I can tell you this: North Carolina is not the same team that they are home and away. They've been getting blown out at home. I'm sorry, on the road. They've been destroying people at home. I would definitely lean Louisville here plus the 3.5. I would also take a look at them plus around 130 on the money line. 9 p.m. 6:35, 6:36. Alabama at Auburn. I said this earlier today. I just wanted to say this. Anyone know who Auburn's only loss of the season is to this year? Answer is UConn. I just had to get that out there. So, Alabama receiving 52% of the bets, 67% of the money. Opened at 7.5, now 6, Scotty.
Yeah, I'm showing 61% of the money, 64% of the tickets on Auburn.
All right. So the Sharps like Alabama today. Auburn, since they got number one, maybe a little fat around the collar. Coach Pearl just got his extension. We can tell you about this. If Alabama's hitting the threes, it's going to be one hell of a game. The over is 156.5. So they're kind of sort of telling you first one to 80 wins this game. It's going to be a hell of a game. Enjoy that one at 9 o'clock. I lean the Roll Tide there, plus the 6. Maybe sprinkle in a little plus 180, 190 on the money line there. Stench, and more stench. 9 p.m. 6:39, 6:40. Providence at St. John's. Providence, one loss this year. They are a wagon. And like Marquette, zero respect from Vegas. They opened up 2.5-point underdogs. I saw it as high as 3. It's back to 2.5. Receiving 63% of the bets, 55% of the money, yet an absolute line freeze on St. John's. Listen, the eyes tell us this. It's a stench. It's like the Davidson-St. Bonnie's game. It's like the Michigan State and Maryland game, and this fits the bill again. If you are going to play the stenches, you got to roll all 3 of them. If you're going to go against the stenches, you got to roll all 3 on that side. It was like yesterday when I says, if you're playing Notre Dame, which was the public trendy dog, which got blown out, you had to play Penn State last night. And Penn State beats Iowa in double overtime. So it's the same way here. If you are playing the Bonnies over Davidson today, you got to stick with it. You got to play Michigan State over Maryland. And then you got to go back and take St. John's over Providence. Or you go the other way. You're taking Providence tonight. You're taking the Bonnies tonight. And you're taking Michigan State. You can't use this as a buffet line and take one way, one way, one the other. It just doesn't work that way. But what are you seeing on tickets there, Scott?
Basically about the same. 52% of the money and 66% of the tickets on Providence.
You're supposed to be all the way our eyes are trained. You're supposed to play St. John's today, but I'm just telling you, it reeks to high heaven. There is no reason why this Johnny's team is favored. I just can't see why. Providence getting no respect here. So again, if you're on the stench plays, you're playing St. John's today. If you're on the stench plays, you're playing the Bonnies today. Okay. And then you're also playing Michigan State. But you got to figure that one out. Or DM me at EC Sports Invest. I'll help you out there. Texas at Texas Tech, 641, 642. Texas Tech opened up 5.5, now 4.5. 60% of the bets, 52% of the money, Scott, on Texas.
Yeah, this is not showing it that way. It's showing 53% of the money, 61% of the tickets on Texas Tech. And it's a very large bet game, 103,000.
Okay. I think Texas is the side here. You can catch them at 4.5. You probably get them around plus 160, 165 on the money line. I think it's a great spot for Texas here. Nevada at UNLV, 653, 654. UNLV opened up 3.5, now 1.5. 56% of the bets, 62% of the money on UNLV.
Yeah, this is showing 69% of the money, 52% of the tickets on Nevada.
Yeah, so again, Wager Talk showing one thing and these guys showing another. The thing that sticks out to me the most here, guys, is the fact that UNLV would open up as the favorite. They're coming off a huge win a couple days ago, actually Friday, at Colorado State. 14-point dogs, won by 20. Now back home. it's a coin toss. I tell you what, if Nevada's getting all the play, like Scotty's saying, I would lean UNLV here. If Nevada ends up being the public favorite here, it did open up 3.5 for a reason. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to go just tiptoe to the hockey for us, see if we can get 2 more winners like yesterday. Toronto, nope, too high. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, nope, nope. Some reverse line movement on Vancouver today. Nashville opened up 200. Now minus 166. Vancouver won 3-1 last night, so they're on a back-to-back. I would not play Nashville, put it that way. If you were at slight lean, maybe Vancouver. It's a nice price on plus 151. Kind of stay away from there. There's a flip in this game, Scotty. Calgary at Dallas, rotation number 43-44. Dallas opened up minus 110. Now Calgary minus 119.
Yeah, I'm showing 58% of the money is on Calgary and 56% of the tickets on Dallas.
All right, I respect the flip here. I would lean Calgary tonight, and you can get them right now minus 119 at Circa and 117 at Westgate, and the other two are too high. Scotty, closing thoughts.
Well, we got baseball going on the negotiations, and we got football we're going to deal with in about 2 weeks. So it's I guess get into basketball season. I guess I don't know. That's my stuff is baseball, football. So I'm trying to figure things out a little bit better in the NBA, so the numbers are a little bit better, and see what happens.
I didn't like what I was reading. I don't know if you have any thoughts that you can go. It didn't sound like the 90 minutes were good today. I know this is what's going to happen early in these stages. I talked about it, millionaires versus billionaires. We're going to take our bats and gloves and go home, and no one wins in this. No one does. And I know it's early in these. Did you hear anything about the 90 minutes? Anything good, or was it just show up and pout and nothing?
Well, I think that the players were supposed to give a presentation. I think it was yesterday, and then that means that it balls back in the owner's court to counter that. I think that yesterday the conversations were a little better, but I don't think that they were meaningful. So what does that mean? That means that they're getting around some of the loose end stuff, which is fine. I mean, that's at least ground that they can cover and they can move along together and they can move through. I think today was mostly spent on some of the harder stuff, and I don't think that they did a whole lot. The question will be is whether or not they agree to continue to talk, because if they don't agree to continue to talk, then we're in trouble. If they agree to continue to talk, somewhere down the line, there's some good things are going to happen. But I thought all along that this was going to get done, not in the timetable that we would like it to get done. But I think that they're looking at, probably by the end of February, they want to get this deal done, which is great. But at the same time, that says, okay, well, what about spring training games? Well, spring training games will get shortened and they'll cut that down. I think they'll probably go 3 weeks with that, and then get them on the field and get them starting to play. I did see where the Chicago White Sox have told their pitchers, hey, be ready to go 3 innings from day one for when you get out of here. So you're going to have to build yourself up, and you're going to have to get ready to go on your own, which means, those guys are already doing that anyway. They're already pitching and throwing and getting their arms loose and all that stuff. So there's all this demystifying stuff that needs to happen with all that stuff. But anyway, they're already out there telling their pitchers, hey, when we get here, you need to be able to throw 3 innings in a game right away, because I think they're planning on, hey, it's going to be a shorter spring training. But once they get this thing ironed out, we won't have to deal with this again for another, I don't know what, 7-8 years or whatever it is, and then we can go from there and hopefully have some more baseball.
Well, I do say this sarcastically, tongue in cheek, the one team that this benefits the most is your Rays. I mean, shit, every one of their pitches goes 3 innings. So So the rich get richer, sarcastically there. Quick shout outs at Colton, which will be on the midday market report on Thursday, and his co-host Riley Magnuson will be on Friday, the midday market report. Tomorrow, Andrew McGinnis on the midday market report. We'll cross the border over to Canada and talk some hockey, maybe a little early Super Bowl preview. Myself and Scotty will be hitting up the closing bell the rest of this week at 4:30 to get you guys ready. As for the breakfast bankroll, currently up in the air. If I see the board that it needs to be discussed, and I got to fly solo, I will fly solo Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll figure that one out. Waiting for some confirmation on a couple potential guests to come on with us. But if not, you'll see our faces, or my face at least, twice a day, afternoon and evening, early evening, for the rest of the week and the weekend. So always remember this: if you are wagering tonight, always wager and invest responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number there. Ask for help. Why? Because we care. Myself and Scott would like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, Scotty at Webby20MLB, both on Twitter. We wish everyone a blessed evening. Cash some tickets. Have some fun. It's February. And we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.